It's Mavis Staples here on 91.9 WFPK. Brand new music, If All I Was Black. Kyle Meredith here on 91.9 WFPK and joined in the studio by Mr. Paul Kelly, who's in town tonight at Zanzibar. Welcome to Louisville.
Thank you. Thanks, Carl.
That's
Thanks
great
for having us.
And you say us. I was going to let you introduce your great singers here.
We have Linda Bull and Vika Bull, the Bull sisters.
Yeah, welcome everybody to town. Again, Paul Kelly tonight at Zanzibar touring behind a brand new album called Life is Fine. It's fine. I was thinking that's all right. It's not a ringing endorsement, I guess.
No, life is fine. Well, it can be a fine thread. Life is fragile. So I like the ambiguity of that phrase.
Yeah. It's not stepping out like, life is great. Life is bad. No, it's fine. It's decent.
Life is fine. Well, the title track, "Life is Fine," it's got the way the music goes on. Life is fine in that song. It sounds more like life is worth living.
Yeah.
But it's always context, that word "fine," isn't it?
It is. It's also one of those dangerous words. You have the cliche that if you're talking to your spouse and what's wrong? No, I'm fine.
What's wrong? I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
That's not a good fine. It's much different here. As the story goes, of course, this is a bit of a return to you for pop music, for rock music. The last few albums have been concept records. And I guess it all stems from your record label just saying, please.
Oh yeah, well I said to them, it was my idea as much as them. Although they'd say, when are you going to do a normal record?
Normal.
The record label have been great. They sort of take anything that I throw at them. But last year there were two records that were quite, I guess, more meditative and philosophical. There was a record of Shakespeare sonnets put to music. Mostly by the same band that did this really upbeat record, but we also did a record of songs I've sung at funerals. So I always knew wanted to follow up those records with something completely different with high contrast.
Yeah, is that like switching gears for you at all, or does it come pretty natural?
No, because I write songs. The songs come pretty randomly, so I just collect as I write them. They're not always in the. If I write a number of songs in the course of a year, they're not all the same sort of thing. They're all, because they come at you by chance. So they're all quite different. So I tend to sort them. So I've been sorting the songs for this record, knowing I wanted to come up, follow last year's records up with an upbeat band record. I've just been hanging on to some of the songs and waiting till I had enough of them.
Yeah.
And when you sort of got like 6 or 7 or 8 of songs that you think are talking to each other, then it helps you write the extra few that you need to make the record. That's what happened with this record.
Yeah, so I was thinking though, like, for as long as you've been at it, it's like at some point do you just get tired of verse chorus? Because you look at some folks who've been at it as long as you and longer. I mean, pull up Bob Dylan, who's of course spending the last few years just doing the crooner stuff, and Neil Young, who just goes off the deep end on the noise side. It's like just to be a songwriter like that, it's like I cannot do the verse, chorus, bridge formula one more time. I've got to have a break.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to make the verse, chorus, bridge work. But yeah, it's good to refresh yourself by trying out different things. So in the last few years, I've put poems to music, and a lot of poems they're not written in that style. They're just, you sort of write the music straight through without that verse, chorus structure. And I write songs with the band or jamming with the band. You get different kinds of songs that way too. So, I mean, I'm always writing verse, chorus, bridge songs as well, but other songs, all kinds of other songs come along as well.
And you do them very, very well, by the way. I don't want to downplay that. We love this record. This is such a good record with Life is Fine. Talking with Paul Kelly here on 91.9 WFPK Zanzibar tonight. You can get those details at WFPK.org. I think we can get a song out of you guys.
All right. Well, the first song we're going to play is called Josephina, which is the story of Josephina and the ne'er-do-well that loves her. And interestingly enough, it doesn't really have a verse, chorus structure. You might say it's got a one-word chorus. Josephina. Won't you come out and play, Josephina? I missed you all yesterday, Josephina. Tell your boss you need the afternoon off to go and visit a sick friend. You know it wouldn't be a lie, not at all untrue, 'cause I'm down with a fever for you. I love your sweet hip shake thing, Josephina. The out-of-tune way you sing, Josephina. I love the light and dark inside your eyes, and the waves of your laughter. I love your sudden clutch that says, oh baby, put on a braid, just before your body starts to shake. To the market I'll go, Josephina. Buy some fresh fish for us both, Josephina. I'm gonna cook you up a red hot meal. We'll eat it on the veranda. Later on we'll play some old sweet and ragged tunes and dance under the light of the moon. I'll get a job really soon, Josephina. I know that's what you want me to do, Josephina. I'll save my money and I'll buy no car. We'll head on up to the islands. I hear they're taking lots of people on all summer long, and when it's over we'll keep moving along. Won't you come over here, Josephina? This old world is good when you're near, Josephina. I know some people say you should beware. I'm a ne'er-do-well time waster, but I know your mother likes me and I like her too. Oh, she's a spitting image of you. Won't you come out and play, Josephina? I missed you all yesterday, Josephina. I love the way that you sway, Josephina.
Paul Kelly here on 91.9 WFPK with Vic and Linda Bull helping out there. Claps, vocals. Paul Kelly tonight at Zanzibar. Again, this new record is called Life is Fun. We are so happy to have you here in Louisville. You had mentioned a little bit a second ago about poetry, and I guess, according to the story, it does play a part in this record and what you've been into, right?
Yeah, the title track, the last song on the record, is based on a Langston Hughes poem called Life is Fun. Langston Hughes, I'm sure many Americans are familiar with. And that actually, it's a poem that reads like a song lyric, so that one does sort of break up into verses and choruses pretty well.
Well, that's what I was trying to think, because, you know, when you're trying to translate poetry in any different way, I guess, it seems like that would be a challenge to try to get it into the pop format. If you're trying to work that sort of in there, and and I don't know how much liberty you take with the actual poem versus just the ideas and making them your own.
No, if you're taking a poem, if you're taking a poem by someone else and putting that poem to music, I think it's important to respect the words. I mean, we did the Shakespeare sonnets last year. You're not going to fool around with those too much. I think he did a pretty good job in the first place. So, but they do. The sonnet is 14 lines. They rhyme. They have a definite number of syllables, 10 syllables per line. Interestingly enough, I know we keep going on about the verse and chorus, but the sonnet always there's 8 lines, the sonnet, and usually the next 4 lines is what they call the turn, or where there's a slight shift in perspective or point of view. And then the last 2 lines are a couplet that rhyme together. So sometimes you can use that couplet as a chorus, which we did a couple of times on the record. And then that turn sort of works like a bridge. So the sonnet is actually quite well suited for pop songwriting.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed. The science of songwriting right there.
Yeah, well, Shakespeare, started most things. So yeah, he's invented a lot of things. So
I was thinking, no matter what you did, it's not like he could get mad at you, though. It's like safe.
No,
Other people can get mad at you, but
that's
he
right.
can't. He can't. What album is this for you? What album is Life is Fine?
Somewhere in the 20s. It sort of depends how you count them, whether you count
Sure.
live records and some soundtracks and collaborations. But yeah, I think it's 23.
Yeah. Like, do you even try? Well, like when you're playing live, on the live show, like tonight is Zanzibar. Do you try to sort of encapsulate that entire career? Because I got to imagine there's a lot of forgotten songs for you. Like, that's a lot of albums.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I've written about three or 400 songs, but I guess songs that I could remember that I wrote would be, I reckon, half of that. But tonight, for instance, when we play tonight, we'll play the new record as a piece first. So we play it straight through. The first 40 minutes is playing the record, and then we go and do a mix of older songs. So there's songs, really old songs, and some more recent songs.
Yeah.
So it's quite a long show. It's running at 2 hours, sometimes more.
How often does it actually happen that I know you're looking through your catalog or somebody comes up to you and mentions a song and you go, I don't. When did I do that?
I usually remember have the song or the name of the song, but I don't always remember how to do it. So people will call out for a song, and I think, well, I better go. I think, that's a good idea to do that. I should do that song. Then I might have to go and relearn it. But I've got enough of my songs sort of, into my head now from having sung them so often that I remember, most of them.
It's an amazing catalog you have. Like, we're so impressed by all of your records that you've done. So
Thank you.
Again, Paul Kelly and the band playing tonight at Zanzibar. You can get those details at WFPK.org, and I would love to hear another one if you got it.
Yeah,
And
just
just
to
the
let
3
you
or
know,
400.
let you know, it's the full band tonight with Vic Linda singing and bass drums, keyboards, and electric guitar.
Awesome.
So it's a fun show. We're going to do a song with a. Has it got chorus? I'm just thinking. It's got a bridge. Yeah, sort of. It's sort of more like verses in a bridge. This is Letter in the Rain. The morning bright and still is laid a frost across the hill, and the glory of it takes my breath away. The bird song in the trees, floating on the ghost of a breeze, says you're lucky to be a creature alive today. The rosy-fingered dawn is changing color in the east, like in ancient days we'll never see again. Once we were together, that I do remember. All the rest is like a letter in the rain. So I go to check my snares, see what night caught unawares. I take the path along the creek again. In the garden of delight, a snake slithered into sight. So we left Eden and headed for the plain. Day by day and night by night, she didn't leave my side. Now she never wants to see my face again. Once we spoke in love's low tongue, as all the bells at midnight rung. All the rest is like a letter in the rain. There's a river somewhere up around the bend. When it hurts, that river's always been my friend. The frost is gone now from the hill, like a vision in a dream. You never know when glory will come again. I remember her dark stare and a braid of nut brown hair. All the rest is just a letter in the rain.
That's beautiful. Paul Kelly here on 91.9 WFPK and the beautiful vocals and harmonies of Vic and Linda. Thank you so much. That was gorgeous. Paul, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Our pleasure.
Loved every verse and chorus.
Thank you. Thank you.
Paul Kelly tonight at Zanzibar. Again, those details are at WFPK.org. The new album is called Life is Fine. Thank you guys for coming to the studio today.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Here's Joni Mitchell.